Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Unleashed. Pup Twigs here from Orlando, Florida. And our guest on this episode is Pup Doflamingo De Greiff from Cali, Colombia. How's it going?
Hi, it's everything fine. Just a little bit hot here in my city, but other than that, just perfect.
Well, I'm sure Colombia is quite warm this time of year. It's warm here in Orlando, but I'm sure you've got the humidity that we don't have quite yet.
It's kind of 50-50. There are some cities here that are super cold, sort of like Bogota. Bogota
Hmm.
is really high and it's really cold most of the time. But Cali, because it's closer to sea level, it's really, really hot. So yeah, it kind of depends on where you are.
Okay, all right, good to know. Good to know. So let's kind of touch base about a couple of things. Your name, how that came about, your pup hood colors, and if you have a specific date or how long you have been a pup.
Okay, so first, my name comes from an anime, and the person that's allocated with that name, it's sort of perceived as a villain, right?
Okay.
And the thing is that this person has a really tragic backstory, and he has to overcome a lot of stuff, but at the same time, he makes the wrong decisions and he goes the wrong path. So I took it because of two things. First, I don't believe it's fair to categorize everybody as heroes and villains. I believe that there's some good to everybody and some bad to everybody, and we just have to work with what we have and be proud of the choices that we make. So I kind of wanted to take that name and give it another meaning. And second, the character is really flamboyant and colorful and exaggerated. And I'm wearing black today, but usually I am really, really outgoing and kind of out there. So
Okay.
that kind of matches.
So do you normally always wear the green hood, or do you have different colors that you choose?
No, I actually just have the green one because my partner uh, had a pop hood before me. Okay, so quick recap here. Um, I am married to a pup, and I am that pup's owner and trainer. I
Okay.
am, besides being a pup, I am a dom. We are into a DS relationship, and I just recently, like literally 2 weeks ago, decided to create officially a flamingo. So my day of birth was, I believe it was May the 2nd. I'm just really getting started like a
Sure,
few days.
sure.
So this one is one of my partner's older hoods. So I decided to make it my own and I painted it green because it's my favorite color. I love nature, I love emeralds, I love everything that's green. So that's why I took the green color here. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So being a pup, I know sometimes there's difficulty being a pup, and sometimes there's some things that are really easy. For you, what has been the easiest part of being a pup? And then also, what has been the most difficult part of being a pup?
Okay, so the most difficult would have to be changing my mindset and my headspace because I am a dom on my other, let's say, regular relationship and interactions. Turning around and sort of becoming a little bit the submissive or the vulnerable one
Hmm.
has been a challenge. You know, it's not that easy for me to just say like, okay, I'm gonna turn it off and that's it. I go into submissive mode. So that has been a challenge. It comes like really um, from this need to control everything.
Hmm.
So that's kind of difficult. And the easiest part is I believe somewhat contradictory. It allows me to be more spontaneous. It allows me to be happier, playful, just like let go. And that's been like what allows me to show my other sides of my personality.
Okay.
So it's kind of like, yeah.
Okay. Well, if there's one thing that you could change about the pup community, what would that change be?
Besides every gear being so expensive, uh, I think that the one thing that I would change is this perception that some people in the BDSM community has that it's sort of making fun of something or being humiliated or being degraded.
Okay.
When you become a pop and you embody this mindset, this headspace, you're doing it because you feel that is correct for you, that it works for you. Sometimes it can be even therapeutic
Mm-hmm.
because you channel the stuff that you need and you uh, work on it and you live it and you experience it the way that you need to. But I have heard from other people in the BDSM community, like, oh my God, you look so, why would you want to get on all fours and bark? Like, that doesn't make sense. So, like, what? Why? It's my choice. It's what I want. So I would want that perception that it is something ridiculous or something silly to go away. That's the one
Right.
thing.
Okay.
That perception, that negative perception.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Good. Good. Um, what kind of hobbies do you do there in Colombia? I know you said you like the outdoors, so
Yeah. I'm really an outdoors kind of buff. For example, I haven't had the chance, but I usually try to go to the lake or to a river and just swim and have a good time. I have like really good time walking in nature. So that's kind of my thing. But here in Colombia, we have a really big community, especially in Bogota, which is the capital here.
mm-hmm.
There's a lot of pubs. There's a lot of events, parties, and da da da. And it depends on the specific pub pack. Most of them, especially the younger ones, are into clubbing and dancing and, you know, this party lifestyle, let's
Mm-hmm.
say. But the middle-aged and older ones, we're more focused on trying to educate and work with the younger pops in order to have a safer experience.
Okay.
So we do a lot. We do a lot of mosh pits. We do get-togethers, meetups, trainings. I handle specialized training, you could say. For example, my pop is emotional support pop.
Mm-hmm.
So we do kind of like a little bit of everything, but at a slow pace.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that. So, how far are you from Bogota?
If you go by plane, just half an hour. If you go by road, it's about 12 hours.
How many hours?
12.
Oh, wow. So it's a fair drive if you drive it yourself. But well, that's I guess that's not too bad then. What about pets? Do you have any pets of your own?
Yes, I have two. Uh, they're they're rescues. We took them in from a farm that was like um close by. And this was right before the pandemic, a month before the pandemic hit. So they were newborns and they were like suffering because the person that had them didn't have any money, anything to take care of them. So we
Hmm.
decided to take them in, and they're 3 years now. Yes, 3 years. So
Well, thank you for taking in some rescues. That's pretty awesome. So I know you mentioned sometimes, you know, the different roles that pups play, and it sounds like you might be playing more than one role. But how do you identify beta, omega, or alpha, or is there sometimes a mix of more than one?
Well, I haven't finished deciding what I'm going to define as my role
Okay.
because, as you mentioned, I am a dom, and I don't know if this uh, side of me is going to continue to subscribe as a more dominant figure or
Okay.
is going to allow someone else to take control. So I'm kind of working on that at the moment.
Oh, and that's valid as well. I'm kind of in the middle. There's times I can lead, and then there's other times I don't want to lead. So my
I'm very protective of those around me. And for example, here we have tomorrow we have a meetup with some new puppies. And I'm very protective and I try to take them in and say like, hey, this is okay. You can do it this way. You can try this. And
hmm
I'm always trying to, help, but it would be um, rushed of me to say like, no, I am always this way and that's it.
right, right.
Doflamingo still doesn't have a defined role in that way. So,
Okay, okay, that's good. You also mentioned that there you have a pretty big pup community. How often do you all get together and do things? Whether I know you mentioned the younger ones like to go out and go to bars and drink and stuff, but is it a fairly large pup community there in Cali?
oh, in Cali, we have just around 20 pubs.
Okay.
It's a rather small one. The big part of the pub community is in Bogota, and we have the last time I checked on the chat, we had around 200 pubs.
Oh, nice.
So they're not always that active, but they do participate in munches and workshops and activities we have. So yeah, we try to do different kinds of activities so that everybody can find something that they enjoy and, go
Okay.
ahead.
So, what kind of advice would you give? You saw somebody that was new into the pup community. What kind of advice would you want to give them?
Well, one advice that I keep getting and that I think that it's a really good one is that there's no correct way of doing everything. You don't have to know everything. You don't have to have the answers to everything.
Hmm.
You can just go at your own pace, find out what works best for you, find out how you feel, and go from there.
Okay.
Uh, some of the pups that I have met, they want to have everything worked out in a week. They want to have the gear, they want to have the role, they want to have the name, they want to have the breed, they want to have everything. And sometimes it can happen. I'm not
Yes.
saying that it doesn't, it can happen, but sometimes it doesn't. And they feel bad and they feel like they didn't accomplish what they were supposed to. And that's not true.
Right.
You can have as much time as you want because this is a part of getting to know you and expressing yourself in this other way that can suit you and allow you to be free and playful and whatever you want it to be.
Hmm.
So that would be like take your time, don't rush into anything, don't feel forced into anything. And if you feel like somebody's trying to coerce you into something, speak up.
Okay. Good. That's some great advice. So this question came from a pup writer out of Manchester, Connecticut, here in the United States. And he wanted to know what has being a pup and part of the pup community done for your mental health.
Well, as I mentioned before, my pop, Lila, is an emotional support pop. So before I decided to embody the flamingo, I was struggling with uh, clinical depression,
Hmm.
anxiety, and a little bit of other mental health issues that I'm not going to go into much detail, but uh, I was struggling really just finding the motivation to go ahead and do basic stuff in my day to day. So I got up and said like, hey, this is happening. I feel this way. Uh, I don't know what to do. And she said like, okay, we're going to try this. And she got up, uh, worked out a support group with her pup friends, and she can like, okay, this is happening. We need to address it. It's not an intervention, but we need to have an idea of what is going on and how bad is it. Do you want to go to a therapist? Do you want to go, or do you want to talk with us? Or and they showed me that the pup community is really close. They're
Hmm.
re they're really united, and they defend each other and they protect each other and they hug each other. And that was really why the flamingo was born, because I felt like I was included and I felt like I was heard. And that was so important because
Yeah.
one thing is for me to tell my husband, hey, I'm having this situation. That's one thing. And he can address it as my husband, but it's not going to be a full approach because there's other elements to our relationship that also need to be taken into account. So I decided to include all of those other elements and it worked. It was super important.
Oh, that is, well, I'm glad you were doing better, and I'm glad that the pup persona was one of the things that helped you because it's pretty awesome. It really is.
Thank
So,
you.
so I know maybe the question that you might have for the next pup may be tied somewhere close to this question, but if you could ask that question to my next guest, what would that be? What would you want to know about them?
I I always want to understand how does each person prepare mentally, physically, and emotionally to embody the role that they're going to embody, be it pop, be it dumb, be it whatever. So if they could tell us what their preparation is, what the rituals are for getting in that headspace, and how they protect themselves, sorry, uh, and not have it affect important parts, and not have it become intrusive, that would be good for
Okay,
me.
all right, valid question. So let's say some pups, maybe in Colombia, maybe somewhere else in the world, sees this podcast and they want to reach out to you. Do you have any social media that you would want to share on here for them to get in touch with you?
Yeah, my Instagram is at the flamingo underscore puppy. Uh, I just started it like a couple of weeks ago, so it's rather new, but you can find me there. I love to chat with people. I love to interact with people because I have had people reach out to me even in this short period of time and say like, "Hey, you're new. Did you start when or da da da?" So like you're helping me understand this about my role. You can show me because Doflamingo has a really sweet side to him,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and you can see in my pictures that he's really playful and he loves being around flowers and around the countryside. So Bob commented on my picture a while ago and said like, I'm really happy to know that even if you present yourself as male and a little bit more manly, you can still be sweet and be playful and not lose that side of you. Like,
Mm-hmm.
sure, why would I stop being uh, more manly or more this just because I want to take a picture with a flower?
Correct. Yeah.
It's not going to interfere one thing with the other. And they're like, yes, but we have this preconceived notion of what a manly person is supposed to look like and what it's supposed to like and what it's supposed to act like. And I'm like, ah, screw that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to have that dictate what I want and how I want to live that side of me just because someone else thinks that this might not be manly enough for
Hmm.
them.
Oh, good for
So
you. Good for you. So I'm assuming in Colombia you speak more than just English, correct? You're bilingual?
I actually speak Spanish, uh, English, and Portuguese. Yes.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah,
Well,
I lived in Brazil for a couple of years. So I lived in Rio de Janeiro,
oh,
and it was amazing.
yeah, I visited São Paulo, Brazil before. I've never been to Colombia, but I've been to Brazil before, and yeah, it was awesome.
Well, you're welcome here. I'm pretty sure that all the pups would be thrilled to have you here, me included, of course.
Oh,
So you're more than welcome here.
I'll bring my husband Pup Smokey with me, and we'll have a good time down there.
Amazing.
So,
Yeah.
so would you like, in case some of your local pups there in Cali or Bogota see this, you want to say something to them in Spanish or Portuguese? Go right ahead.
Eh, bueno, para los cachorros de Colombia, quiero que sepan que PetPlay Colombia está dispuesto siempre a ayudarlos, a recibirlos y a hacerles el espacio para que se sientan seguros, para que se sientan respetados, para que se sientan incluidos y recuerden que es una gran familia. Portuguese, okay, wait, let's see. Okay, that gets me kind of nervous. Okay, here we go. Forgot Portuguese. Okay. Eu só quero dizer que para os filhotinhos do Brasil que gostam de vir à Colômbia, podem vir. Aqui a gente vai respeitar vocês. Aqui a gente vai compartilhar muita coisa. Vamos brincar, vamos fazer muita coisa legal, maneira. A gente tem muitos espaços seguros, né? Pensados para respeitar vocês e para oferecer uma companhia, uma família, né? Uma manada, tá? Obrigado. Se querem vir, bem-vindos. That's it.
That, that, I so wish that when I was in school I would have learned a second language, but I didn't, unfortunately. But it always amazes me when I get to run in and talk to people that are speak more than one, and I hit the jackpot here with someone that speaks three different languages, which is awesome.
Well, I have to confess, I started practicing English when I was around 5. So I had my nanny show me different cartoons, always in English. So that kind of struck my chord, and I kind of got used to the pronunciation and the language. And I have a lot of American friends, so it helps, you know. But for example, I was around 24, 25 when I went to live in Brazil, and it was more difficult because you're old and you have like this kind of ideas of what you're supposed to know by a certain time.
Hmm.
So it was more difficult. But what I did, and it was sometimes it was silly, but I would take, for example, my phone, I would look up an egg and I would show the person from the supermarket the egg. They're like, oh, okay, X, oval, X. Okay, that way. So I would listen to them and I was like, oh, this is called oval. Okay, perfect. Oval. And I would go home practicing oval, oval, oval. It's so silly, but I swear it worked for me. It
But
was amazing how fast I was able to relate an object and its name. So yeah.
yes, well, hey, however you got it there, it worked for you, and that's awesome. So, any last words from you before we sign off?
Well, I would like to thank you because this type of situations, these types of platforms that we are giving now was something that I didn't get a few years back. Um, so I think that a lot of people can see this and relate and say like, okay, hey, this is okay. This is nothing to be ashamed of. This is something that I can explore. This is something that other people are living or experiencing, and it's good for them. It can be good for me.
Hmm.
So first of all, that thank you for this platform. And second, I just wanted to show off my tiny little baby. It's my favorite toy.
Oh, you a Pokemon player as well?
Yeah. And this is my favorite cute little guy.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I'm a huge Pokemon Go player. I play every single day.
Oh, we should add each other because I still play Pokemon Go and I'm kind of uh,
Oh yeah,
Pokemon obsessed.
when we sign off, we'll trade print codes and we'll get that done.
Perfect.
I just want
I
to leave everyone with one thought. So stay curious, stay compassionate, and always wagging your way toward happiness. Until next time, keep howling and positive tails up.
that was
Thank,
beautiful.
thank you so much. It's been awesome here getting to spend some time with you.
Thank you. It was amazing for me as well.
All right, have
Thank
a good one.